That's good.
Okay, let's start in a few seconds. I don't know, how many are we? 20 already?
18. Close to
18.
20.
Okay, 18 is great. So let's start. So welcome to the monthly USU meeting. It's been now 2 years and a half we are doing this meeting. And every month we have so much things to share. There is some new people here. So welcome to the new people. Welcome to all the North American people who join us. As I think it's the first time we have so many people from the other side of Atlantic Ocean. So it's great. And I hope you will understand me despite of my thick French accent. What? Yes?
Also, it was like just a smiling.
Okay. So what is UI Suite? Most of us we know, but let's tell it again. UI Suite is both a way of declaring design system artifacts, so design system parts into Drupal theme thanks to YAML files, and module to load those declarations and plug them to Drupal API. So now we have two API in core, is component and icon. One of our goals is to put styles API in core too. So our dream is UI Suite to become only the module and with contact with Drupal API, because all the format, all the YAML definition will be in core one day. It's a dream. Okay, so it will be a normal meeting with the same agenda. Let's move. First, congratulations to Jean. So Jean will be a bit late, so he's not with us now, but congratulations to him, because he's now a core maintainer. He will be a maintainer in the same scope as me. That means SDC and Icon API. And it's not a surprise, because if I go back here, you see, it's SDC and Icon API are the two design system related API. So everything makes sense. So congratulations to him. So I was in Drupal Code Atlanta, where I met a few of you. I did talk about design systems the Drupal way. It was not about UI Suite, but I talked about UI Suite 3 times in the talk. It was great, very good vibe, good energy in the room, very interesting question. So I'm happy. If you want to have a look, here is the URL of the YouTube video. Also, yesterday, I was in my interview with Drop Time was published. It was an interview made before DrupalCon, but it was published yesterday. And there is already a lot of React and interesting discussion about what I said in this interview. I welcome you to have a look and also to react on the LinkedIn post. Let's start with the pattern 2, our module to manage components. So we still need documentation. We already have the documentation for UI pattern 2 users. That's great. SDC is ongoing. I forgot to write it down, but it's nearly done. So we have a new SDC documentation, and I'm very happy about that. And what is missing is documentation for UI pattern devs. The people developing UI patterns, I mean our team, not people developing with UI pattern. So it's not the most important one, but we will deliver it in a few weeks. So we are planning at least two releases this year. One this spring, late spring, UI pattern 2.1 with UI pattern UI submodule, UI pattern field submodule. We'll talk about that a bit later. Config migration from UI pattern 1 and CK editor 5 integration. and maybe more stuff. UI pattern UI and pattern fields were already merged, but are still experimental. And then late summer, maybe September, we will publish UI pattern 2.2 with library improvement, new sources, new data sources to plug with Drupal API, and maybe field widget. What is this? You will discover that in a few minutes. Christian, do you want to tell a word about UI pattern UI?
Yes, I can show you the current state of your patterns UI. Your patterns UI is actually a form management of components. And I think I don't want to talk too much. I just show you what it is. And then.
Yeah. Okay. You want to do demo?
A short demo.
Nice. Okay, let's do that.
And so what you can see here is the new UI here to create it. So here on the right side, you see the layout component and a configured your patterns UI display of the section component in this case. So what you can do with your patterns UI, you can create icons and other widgets for properties and styles. And you can do this, and you can manage the whole form with field groups and so on. And for this, you have a wait. You have a UI. Actually, it's like field UI, where you see your components here in the first, and then you can configure each component and add form displays to each component. And every form, for every form mode, you can define which props you want to use, and you can configure each of your sources for this property. For example, here the theme property is just an enum property, and inside you can say it's required. You can add the title, you can add the title display, the description, and later here, this is a widget for a source for your pattern settings. You have a sub widget where you can select inline grids, buttons, icons, and so on. And you also can configure each option of your enum so that you only can provide the options to the editor who really need it. And okay. So you can disable it, enable it, and yes, that's it.
So the idea is to, instead of using the default form, which is very powerful, but maybe a bit complex for contributors, for content contributors, the site builder can expose simpler form. It will build from Drupal admin UI.
Yeah, it can provide a simpler form, and only he can provide the options it's needed for this use case. So the component is often much more powerful, but this is when you want to use it, it's very misleading and often in many cases. So you can pre-configure it. You can also move some properties and give them a special value, so the customer don't need to push this. And this makes it easy to use it in layout builder or in any other display builder later. That's
great, all. Great. So are you already using it on your projects?
Yeah, I'm building our first starter kit right now with this, and you can see here different columns, for example, for the section component with themes and so on.
That's great. That's great. That's great, and that's a good complement of the default form of UI pattern 2. By default, UI pattern 2 is very complex because it's very powerful, and it's as complex as the component model and the Drupal API. But you are proposing an alternative where we can decide the shape of the form and the complexity level.
and the shape of the component itself. So it makes often it makes sense to pre-configure your component first, because maybe you use a component library which is very powerful, but in your project you only need a button in 2 variants, so you can create 2 component displays and then only use the 2 of them, so you don't need to reconfigure it every time. So this is
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And also you can because you can share a design system with many projects.
Mm-hmm.
The people who want to use the full power of design systems, they can, and the people who just want to use a subset of design systems, they can too.
Yeah, that's the point. For example, you don't want to have so many layouts, then reduce your layouts, because it's not necessary for your project. And this is the way you can do it. And everything is config, not inside the component, because the component should be flexible. But with configuration, you can bring it into shape, and you can ensure the layout consistency across your project, which is, I think, very important.
Yeah, configuration is a good place because it's where the business is.
Exactly, yeah. Where the business needs match the component needs.
Great, wonderful. Okay, let's move to the next subject. So, sharing again. So UI pattern fields. Michael, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, quickly. So this is a second new submodule of UI patterns. It's also experimental. So the target is for 2.1. The basic idea behind this is to be able to store UI patterns data into content entities. So we propose in this module for now a field storage. So to store the data that is usually in configuration. We have 2 field widgets and we have a field formatter. So basically what it does, it unlocks new use cases, which for me are totally crazy. I explain now. First, the main use case that was the motivator of UI patterns field. I mean, there are 2 main use cases, but I talk about this one because this is a more natural one. So what we can do is we can configure components directly in content edit. So for example, you prepare a display of a paragraph, of a block type, of a node type, or whatever content entity you want of a user. You can prepare it with whatever you want, field UI, layout builder, field layout, whatever you need. And when you configure the component, you have a new source. And you say, I will map the value, I will get the value from the field. So then you delegate the value to be taken from the field value. And then you have created your one field or several fields if you need several components. Sometimes you just use one component like the layout of the layout builder, but sometimes you create different components so you can create different fields. And then when you edit the entity, you have a customized form where you put the values. You put the values usually with widgets, which means you just like you have it's like a classical field widget, but it's not a field widget. This is the component form simplified, and so the data is not so the data is directly stored into the field storage. So we have this line, a paragraph replacement, because basically usually people, when they want to make components available to editors, they
you want to do a demo?
I don't have something prepared yet, but
so next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. Sorry, I was a bit out of time.
Of course.
Usually when people are creating a distribution or starter kits with a design system, like we do for French government with DSFR, usually the agencies, they prepare websites and they prepare paragraph types or block types. Like you have one paragraph for a card, one paragraph for a tile, one paragraph for an alert. And they need in the paragraph to create fields, like one field for the content, one field for the title, one field for the media, and etc., etc. So when people want to do that now, they don't need to create those fields because the data will be directly stored into the field storage and everything is automatic.
Okay, so if I understand well, instead of doing blocks and paragraphs or just copy of the component model, and then you have to maintain the two models, you can just use directly the component model into your content entity.
Yeah, you create the field. You say, I will use this widget with this component. Let's say I will only edit props for cards, for example. You can select the props you want, you map, and then it's done. So it's we are very happy for this one. And the bonus, the cherry on the cake, is like you can use UI pattern UI we saw just before. So you can very tailor your form. So with UI patterns field, you have the basic stuff. You can say, I want just the props of card and this prop, this prop, this prop. But with UI pattern UI, then it's crazy. You say it's required. You change the title. You go to advanced customization. So they work together. So it's very cool.
That's great. That's great. So next month, a big demo with separately and then together.
Yeah, and one of our friends, but I know he's in vacation now, which is Fabien Clément, a French Drupaler. He used that with a paragraph layout. So what he does for his projects, he uses the field storage and field widget for his content editors to edit the components, and then the display is made with paragraph layouts. So it unlocks very broad use cases. So we are happy, but it's still experimental. Okay. So yeah. And
until June. In June, it will we will move out of experimental.
But we are already crazy about it.
yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
And the second one, which was basically the first reason at the beginning, was for Display Builder. So when we worked on Display Builder internally, we knew we won't like to do content override, and we needed to store Display Builder storage into content entities. And this field is like a native storage for Display Builder. So I can just say it's perfect for this.
Great. A lot of excitement.
Yeah, so I'm done with this.
Yeah, let's continue.
Yeah.
So about moving a pattern 2 in Drupal Core. So UI pattern 2 has a few override on the core API, and we don't want to split from core implementation, of course. So our goal is to take the 15 override we did and to move them back to core. So during Atlanta, during the contribution day, I work at the SDC table, and with some people, and we have two issues in review to have component variant to SDC and to process attribute under property. So we are very close to achieve that. And also schema references, which is an old issue of us, was resurrected because Experience Builder need these two. So if we implement it on core, it will help them, and it will also help us because we can remove some code from the UI pattern module. So that's very exciting. I hope we will accelerate, and we will move more and more stuff to core, and UI pattern 2 will be lighter. There is something crazy. Yeah, someone is asking. Okay. Yeah.
It's just a Rajab.
Okay, let's continue. So there is another crazy stuff happening now. Florent, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, it is a little teasing. I will present that next week at Drupal Dev Days. It is a POC we are doing with Pierre together. The goal is to be able to integrate components inside the Form API, either to be able to use components inside the standard form, to be able to potentially to use components to improve the display of your form elements. And the other one is to be able to completely replace form elements by components. So you will have, for example, input, text fields, radio buttons, select list, etc. But provided by components with components YAML and the component twig templates. And we have been like you put in the slide, there are two issues. Both are currently poked on one of the issue in the merge request. So if you want to be spoiled of next week session, you can already go look at the merge request. But yeah, you will be able to see that we have a beginning of a solution, but that will need to be cleaned up. But that's a long-term goal of the issue. First, at least to do the presentation, it is okay.
Okay, so it's great because I mean, form element will be a front dev will be able to create and manage form element from SDC API. He has just have to add a new component, to use a new variable in the component, variable maintaining the form state. And with this variable, the SDC command become a form element. So that's so crazy because now the front dev can be the full owner, the full provider for every component, normal and form component. So I think. And
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
I have a question. I think it's I'm thrilled with these two issues, and actually I want to integrate the form elements inside my project, the UI Suite Daisy UI. What's the advice here? Is to wait for these two issues to be completed, or?
Yes, it will not work without those two issues. Yes.
Yeah, but what's the advice? Should I wait for
Yes,
these two issues?
You can either wait, or you can maybe start creating an issue on your project to start creating your components. But to be able to test it, you will need the merge request on the one of the issue.
Okay. So when you say I create the issue on my project and I start implementing the components, I start implementing them like I'm doing for like other components. Like
Yeah, but
yes, but we will have some special mechanism, like for example, in components there is automatically the attributes variable. For such components, there will be a special form state variable too, containing some state data. So yeah, it is not completely frozen because it is a POC. But yeah, you can start to give a look.
Okay,
and in the merge, sorry, last point, in the merge request, there are also the components I used to POC, so you can see, give a look at how they are structured.
And also, I can give my proof of concept also in the merge request, maybe.
Oh, it will be great. If you want to add, we are testing with Bootstrap, but if you want to add some tests with SUI, anyway, if you do a merge request on the SUI, don't merge before the core is ready, because your user will not understand what's happening if you merge too soon.
Okay.
For me, this change, it's a game changer for Drupal Core first, because we today form elements are too complicated to create and to manage. There are plugins and very complicated plugins. Now they are becoming plugins too, but SDC plugin. And also, UI pattern will be able to generate form widget, field widget now. And UI pattern contrib space ecosystem will be able to generate expose footer for views, and also field for web form. So you see, by fixing this core issue, we will open UI pattern to many other API, and we will extend what is possible to do with SDC component.
Question about form alter, because there are a lot of form alters in Drupal and in custom projects. So this is supposed to change, you think, or we will keep this big mess of altering stuff everywhere?
Okay, so form alter, what we do is not related to form alter. When a form is buildable, for example, entity form display, or better exposed form with views, or web form, this is 3 examples of buildable form. You will be able to use your SDC component in those 3 tools, okay? And you don't use form alter already on those tools. You use form alter for the form who are not buildable, form who are in code only. And those forms, they will not be impacted, they will stay the same, and you will still need form alter. UI SDC with UI pattern is only targeting buildable display.
Okay, I see. Thanks.
Other question? Okay, let's move on. Can't wait for Drupal Dev Days talk next week, Florent.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about UI icon. Jean, do you want to talk about this? Maybe you are not ready yet. Jean will be ready later. Okay, so today, the Drupal Core has an icon API since December, which is managing icon pack, icon extractor, one render element, one tweak function, and a few extractors because they are needed by core icon packs. And everything else is in contrib, including UI icon, the other extractor, the form element, and the integration with Drupal API. However, after talking with the core maintainers, we have the feeling that we need to move one form element from contrib to core. We don't know which one we will move, but we believe that Drupal core needs to have at least one form element. So that's what we will propose the next month to target Drupal. The Drupal release of this summer or this winter, and I think it will help the contrib space to build the new features and new usage with this icon API. That's all for UI icon. Let's talk about UI styles. So we have a new issue, which a bit surprising because in 5 years of UI style, it's the first time we are meeting it. There is clarity. It's a design system which is a good design system, very good quality, very well done. But it has 3 different mechanisms to apply style utilities. Classes, okay, we know about that. Custom attribute, that's more surprising. And inline CSS variable. So it's CSS variable, but it's not the same usage of USKey. It's really something else. It's CSS variable overriding other CSS variable. It's something else. So we need to think about how to integrate those new kind of style utilities, and also how we can share some logic with USKey. Florent, Is it a good summary?
Yes, this is of course.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us about the UI style too.
Still no progress done on it. But yeah, like you mentioned, the goal is to integrate the first API layer in core. But as you mentioned, we are currently discussing regularly with Pierre about potential merge between UI skins and UI styles for better integration and support from end-to-end to styles and CSS variable utilities when they are coupled together. And yes, currently it is more discussions, no actions taken yet. That's it for me.
Yes, but because we are very busy and you are mostly busy with this Form API work, which is priority. But yeah, later we will move to style utility, and it may be fast if we have a consensus about the format and the API shape. So let's see what will happen in a few months. UI skin?
No movement.
No, not, of course. I know you are very busy on other tasks.
Yeah.
And also, on my side, I want to propose a new artifact, animation and transition, but it's low priority. I think it will come later in 2025, late 2025. Your example, we will release the 102 soon, as we tell you. It's a small release, but it will reorganize the logic, and I think it will unlock a nice capability for later. Before talking about Display Builder, let's talk about our team from Contrib. So Bootstrap 5. No?
Bootstrap 5, yes. So a few releases since last monthly meeting. The most recent is from yesterday, with adding layout builder reorder support, from which I'm a new maintainer. Also quickly did some minor changes from Bootstrap 5.3.4. 5.3.5 has almost no change. But it is, yes, supported. And also here it is only new features are listed, but I also needed to make a new release because of a few bug fixes, especially regarding JavaScript of modules like in Layout Builder and Layout Builder Browser and Section Library, the GS, which allows to filter the block list and to better separate between the theme and the potential other module. So yeah, so here are some releases.
Nice.
And also we can note that Bootstrap 5.1 is now in beta state.
It was
Nice.
fast. Thank
Finally.
you. No, it's great. No, it was fast. Only in 3 months, only from first alpha to
Comparing to 5.0, yes.
yeah. So that's great. Yeah. It's a very beautiful implementation, and that's great. We are moving to beta. DSFR, Michael, you want to talk about that?
Yes, this was a long way to go to here, but we are in 1.1.0 beta 5 and almost to the first release candidate. We are 2 small issues to the first release candidates. And today with Pierre, we postpone all form related issues.
Of course.
Because we wait for the magnificent update proposed by Florent and Pierre.
No pressure, Florent.
So we still need to upgrade. So the design system version, the actual is 1.13, but we are only supporting 1.12 yet because we go step by step. So soon, after 1.1.0, we go to support the last version, but it is supposed to be fast. I would just like to add that recently we have a companion module for this theme. I know this is not really the way to go usually, but we have a small companion module.
Okay, I mute you. I will mute you.
And I posted a new source to the companion module, which was needed for one of the agency working with the SFR, and I can say it goes well. We still wait for people to adopt it more, but it will happen soon, I guess. As soon as we have a CK editor in UI patterns, the usage will grow very fast, I guess.
Great. I know, your client are big user of CK Editor 5, so this is something will change.
Yeah, in this area, at least in the SFR, so for French government, a lot of people are contributing in CK Editor, some articles, some content. And usually agencies have developed a custom CK Editor stuff. And we will get rid of all this when we will propose this natively with UI patterns. And so UI patterns UI. So UI patterns UI will propose a nice form for the editors. So simple forms, controllable and configurable. And the CK editor mechanics will provide the way to have editors in CK editor. So we expect a very cool use case, and we will penetrate the market, if I can say that.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so it will be for June too, I guess, CK Editor 5.
Yes.
Okay, great. June will come fast, in 2 months. It's tomorrow. Okay, Michael, the other Michael, you want to talk about this UI?
Yes, of course. So no new release since the last meeting on this project. But we, and I say we because I'm not alone anymore on this project. I have 3 new friends, which one of them is Christian here. Thank you, Christian, to join me. So no new release, but we will release Alpha 2 soon, in which you will have new components, some bug fixes. But the most important is this new starter kit. So with Christian and Paddy, which is not here today, we developed the starter kit, which allows the front developer to be able to generate easily a sub-theme and to be able also to have a build process with npm invite JS to be able to generate a custom build. So that's really nice. And the starter kit is also intended for us to be like a playground to test some stuff. Like for example, we already have in the dev release a custom icon set, but we will also add some experimental features. And if these features are useful, they will be merged in the parent team. So that's a nice playground for us. So you will have this soon in the Alpha 2, and the Beta 1 will be released when we will be able to implement form components with what we talked about it just a few minutes before.
Okay, so we move to beta in minute, and just to explain to people, our team are not reaching beta now. We reach beta before, but we move to UI pattern 2. And so after the move to UI pattern 2, we went back to alpha in a new branch. And now we are reaching beta again with UI pattern 2. And for you, Michael, it's a bit different. Is you move to the UI 5, so you went back to alpha and reached beta. But
Yes.
that doesn't mean that all those teams are new. That doesn't mean that all those teams are reaching beta for the first time. It's just because we moved to new upstream or to UI pattern 2 and we have reached the beta of this move. Just a little explanation. Monet, are you with us? I
don't think so. She's not here today.
Okay, so during DrupalCon, Monet is starting a new team called for Adobe Spectrum, it's a system from Adobe. And she's using the Spectrum namespace instead of UI Suite, which is good. I think we need to start doing that. And she is very enthusiastic and she knows the Spectrum very well. And so during DrupalCon, she did a good start, very good start. And I hope she will deliver something soon. So Monet, if you see this video, don't hesitate to contact us if you need some help, because we are very excited. And me, for example, I would be a user of your implementation when it will be ready. So this is overview. We have a lot of themes. The 4 first are production ready. The other one are in progress, and so it's already a lot. You see, 4, 7, 13 already. So let's see what will happen. Which one will reach the beta phase? I hope next month we will be able to show you a new one. If you want to do your own DSM implementation, you can join us. Here there is a few proposals: Lightning, Clarity, Shoelace. You can propose implementation. If it's Shoelace, please contact Jean and me before, because Jean and me, we are already using Shoelace in internal project. So it will be, we can help you starting the work. Jean, it's your time to shine with Display Builder.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you want
Display Builder, you want to present something before?
Yeah, I can do the little theoretical, and then you do the demo.
Okay.
Okay, so just a few slides to introduce. So you see, with UI pattern, we do that. We have plugin on the left. We have plugin on the right, plugin from design system on the left, plugin for display builders on the right. And there is a gap. And what we do is we fill the gap thanks to our module. We convert the plugin from design system to plugin for display builders. But what will be the next step? The next step maybe will be to have a display builder with design system native, unified building experience, and more modern, because the Drupal Core display builder are a bit old now. So what we are proposing is to, instead of converting the component plugin to display building plugin, is to have a display builder with directly leveraging the design system plugins. So we remove one step here. So why did we start this work? Because we realized that with the release of UI Pattern 2, a lot of work was already done. Everything a bit low level and the madness was done. For example, data retrieval normalization. Up, we have it. And this is very difficult. Cache management, we have it. This is difficult too. Context management, we have it. And this one is crazy. It's maybe 20% of the complexity of UI pattern. Dependency management is often overlooked. We have it. Advanced design system features, styles, variable, modes, and everything, we have it. So all the low-level hard part of its builder is done. That doesn't mean that what is remaining is easy. It will be difficult too, but it will be fun. New dynamic UI, state manager, and replacement. It's what we are doing now. It's what Jean is leading now, and it's the fun part. So your turn.
Okay, so
You want to do a demo?
yeah, let's go for a little demo.
Okay. So I'm giving you the. Okay. You are already showing. Sorry.
Okay, so for the display builder, we decided to try to start a bit light on the JavaScript side, because our goal is to have, as you can see here, it's a Drupal with Bootstrap, but without any block on the block layout. And even if I'm on an admin page, I'm showing the UI suite. I'm using the UI suite Bootstrap theme. This is the main theme we are using now. And what we want first is to have the builder in your current theme. So to be sure you can see directly what you are building. But for that, and this is what Pierre talked about, we decided to be as minimalistic as possible on the JavaScript side. We try to reuse the Drupal core libraries like Sortable. And for the design of the display builder, which is a little part on the top, we try to go web component to have an isolation of our display builder from the theme. And we went for shoelace as for now. So here is a very simple builder with some options. The interesting part is, because I'm on Bootstrap, I will have a library of the UI Suite Bootstrap components with some preview, with different version. We have the group component, we have the component with their variant, so it's easier to have with the preview, a real preview based on the stories. And we can have on some theme mosaic with a preview. We have the Drupal blocks, any block you created on Drupal with, again, a little preview just on what the block is in the current theme, and the presets we will see later. So first step, I will try to have a grid, because it's always good to start with the grid. So the goal here on the left panel is to drag and drop. I have my grid. I will try to add a card. Okay, we have a card. We have another card here. Oh, I made the card, of course. Well, let's go. So on the highlight, it's because the orange part is for where you can add information. It's slots, basically. It's the slots of your component. And the blue part is what I'm selecting, because we will see after there is some moving stuff. So a token, it's basically just some simple text. I have some configuration. So I'm going quick on this one, because this is what Pierre already presented quickly at the DrupalCon Atlanta. So we can have another one, of course. Okay. And what's new and what's interesting for me is now we have a tree, which is describing what's happening, where I can click to see what part of the tree am I doing something. And we have a kind of fancy right menu now, where I can go somewhere. And let's say here I'm on my token. I can duplicate the token and then move it. I can duplicate the other one and then move it somewhere else in the second column. I can copy to paste somewhere else. If I want, I can go directly. I can see on the top, I have multiple parts, and I can copy the card itself and paste the whole card again. That's great. And I can even duplicate the grid. Let's duplicate. So we have 2 columns in 2 columns, starting to be a bit crazy. So this is the second part. We have some remove stuff, which is interesting. For the usability, we are working as well on some highlighting. So for the highlighting, we have a special, oh, I forgot, we can go full screen. It's a bit better. And for the highlighting is to show you the slot and the component itself. So I'm on a card, the slot image, header, content, and I put a token inside. And again, even if I'm on with some highlight, I can still act. I can see, well, I didn't show, but my tree was, of course, refreshing in the same time. On the hood, we are using HTMX for the AJAX request because it's very efficient and it's a modern way to do AJAX request. So that's it. From here, I can again remove from the tree or from directly. It's the same action I have on the tree and on the builder. And even I have another view. We are working on different views to provide the best experience possible on moving, because sometimes when I have a lot of nested elements, because we have no limitation on the nested part, we don't play top to bottom. We play, you can do whatever you want and nest as much as you want, but it can bring some complexity. So we have a layer view, which is more cutting from the top to bottom, where you still have the exact same actions. Oh, duplicate on the one part, where you can still move stuff around. And it's repeating on the tree and on the layer. And the preview, of course, which is the real rendering. Our goal being that the preview being as close as possible to the builder. Here, I just have the empty slot highlighted. It's showing me that I have a grid with 2 columns empty, but I'm removing it. And another feature that has been added since DrupalCon is a preset. So I can click on a part. Here, it's a grid column, and save it as a preset. And now, on my library, I have my new preset with a preview. And the good part is I can use it directly. Or the interesting part is I can use it in another display builder. It's really to share presets of components together, whatever it is, to be able to share it from a different display builder. So I have another example here. It's one build more with some demo stuff. For example, here now, oh, it's another one. And I have my preset I've done in another builder, and I can use it, and I can add it somewhere. I have I didn't put because we have token. We have, of course, a compatibility with UI icon, because it's a great module. And with UI icon directly, even the, it's going to be a bit big. The sizing, and you can see it's updating live. Okay, there is some preview to fix. We are still in early stage. But, and we have a compatibility with UI styles, where you can, try to apply if you have enabled UI styles, it's going to get all the UI styles feature and try to grab it and put it. We added a little filter to help for now. Okay, so I want a lot of margin. Let's add a bit of padding. Let's add a lot of padding. Oh, that's nice. And of course, then you can move stuff around. You can copy stuff directly. So this is the current state. We still have some stuff to do, or some work to do, still ongoing, but it's going pretty well. Again, the tree where you can highlight and pick what you are doing. There is no moving yet in the tree, but it's going to come soon. And we still have the history. You can go back on what you've done, or come again to see. And the last, of course, we have the full screen, the highlight again, and the last feature to ease the UX experience is the keyboard support. So for each, we have an architecture of panels, whatever. For each of them, we can have some shortcuts. So it's a bit easier to travel to travel around. You just have shortcuts to activate a panel or another, which is, I think, pretty handy. And of course, we can even delete and save. It's not in the list because the saving will be related when we have the display builder. We have a target. So currently our targets, we have 3 targets. The page layout, which is kind of a block layout feature. The entity layout, which is the equivalent of layout builder, and a views builder, which is to help to build the view and save what you build in the display builder will be used in the view. For now, we are taking the parts of the view, the header, the footer, the block. If you have a filter exposed, you can have them in a different part. Basically, you can manage the views TPL file. You don't need anymore any TPL file. So that's it.
So that's very exciting. And we are still in private alpha. So it's alpha 0. Can you imagine what we will deliver when we will move to public alpha, public beta? It will be, I think, a tool everybody will love to use.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's actually switch. Oh, that's not. And of course, everything, even on the preview, the good side is you can use what you are building. It's not just it's here for real. You can use it. You cannot really use it in the builder. It's not meant for. It's more in the preview, but still everything is enabled as well.
That's great. That's great. Very promising. We have a roadmap for better integration with as a replacement of Drupal display building tools, and also we have some new mechanism to add. But as you can see, we already have a lot thanks to Jean. Jean worked very hard for the first 2 months. And also, this private alpha help us to say we did the right decision. We took the right decision. That means using web component and HTMX is fast, pragmatic, efficient, and light, because the code base of this tool is very light. It will be the size of a usual Drupal module. So, so we are happy with our decisions. Thank you. Jean, you want to add something?
No, that's it. We are still working on a lot of stuff and a lot of course, we want some. My first goal is usability, and I'm using it a lot to build stuff to be sure it's smooth to use. You don't have to think too much about what you want to do, and you don't have to think too much. So there will be probably a lot of changes, some changes in the UX and in the design, because it's always the goal to be as easy to use as possible, not too complex. And because in Drupal it can often be very complex tools, and we want to try to have a simple one for once, and we will see. But we still have a lot of flexibility. Or last thing I didn't say, it's you can configure, of course, the display builder itself, because you can select what you want. So for example, I have profiles. This is a config entity, but I have profiles, and inside I can say, because we have panels, oh, okay, I want the toggle highlight full screen or not. I even have some fancy devil one that we are not using here. What panel I want to enable? We have the log or something else. This is on this one, because you can see this one, there is a log of what you've done. So this one, I can even change even the menu. I have different actions for the menu. If I don't want the preset, if I don't want the ability to remove something. Okay, no, normally. Oh, yeah, I put the 10. So now I don't have the remove anymore because I disabled it. And I have this fancy button, which is just a theme switcher. And it's normally it's just switching the display builder part, because that's not meant to switch your theme. But if you are in the system way, meaning your browser is set in dark mode, and there is a huge chance if the theme is compatible, it will show itself in the dark mode, then you will have everything dark. And it's just to have we want to be sure we have a compatibility on that too, so it's easier to use. You don't have a big white stuff when it's dark.
And the dark light mode is also a way of showing you that the display builder markup is in mostly, it's not perfect, but it's in isolation. That means we will be compatible with all the design system. Our display builder is not using iframe, is not using crazy mechanism, is just using web component, sometimes with shadow DOM, sometimes not, but it is rendered in isolation. It's very light, very pragmatic, and we hope we will continue this way. Okay, some questions?
Oh, nice.
We move to the end of the meeting. Jean, can you leave the?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm presenting now. Okay, you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so, okay. So, I will not repeat everything here, but you know, we are a small team, and we are passionate. We are doing that because we believe this is the best to do for Drupal display building. And also, if you want to help us, of course, later it will be open to contribution to everybody, but now we keep it with a small team, and in small team there is also Michael Mel. But if you want to help us with some sponsoring, don't hesitate to sponsor us. For us, it's very important to stay on this task as much as possible and not be disturbed by money issue. About the community. So we have an event next week, Drupal Dev Days Leuven, with Florent showing SDC Form API, and me showing stuff about display building, not only on display builder, every display builder. It will be an overview of the display building in Drupal. Then in June, we have Drupal France Perpignan. It's a bar camp. It will be French and Catalan. So for the Catalan speakers, you are welcome. Florent and me, we are going. And if you are coming too, please tell us. And then in in October, sorry, I did a mistake. In October, there is Vienna, DrupalCon. We have a deadline for submission, 28th of April. So feel free to submit. We need to submit as much talk as possible. All the US Suite team have to come, and it will be very nice if we join there, and if we have fun together, and if we do networking together there. If you want to suggest another event in North America, Europe, even other continents, please feel free to tell us, and maybe we can join there. Slack channel is still growing. That's nice. And this is the end of this big meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pierre.
So now
Again.
we have no, thank you everybody. Everybody participate. It was great.
Of course.
We have 20 minutes for questions for the people who want to stay and to chit chat. There is 20 minutes of slot together. Nobody? Daniel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, lovely, because I had issues with my mic today. What a great job on the display builder. I wanted to ask a question about what you said previously, that it's not rendered in an iframe, but somehow isolated. Could you expand a bit more on that?
Yes, we are using a web component with Shadow DOM. But Shadow DOM is not doing everything. It's mostly that the web component is using its own element name, and it's not really leveraging the class name. And what we do is we test nearly every day with 5 different design systems: Bootstrap, DesiUI, USWS, DSFR, and also the Drupal one. And we try to avoid the style of the display builder markup to bleed on the page, and the page to bleed. So that's why we do. And today we are not using any iframe, but we are succeeding. I hope we will keep it like that.
Great, thank you.
I just wanted to add something.
Yes, please.
So I like the iconography of a puzzle because we are building a big puzzle, and each piece is important, and really. So I am in the display builder small team, but I haven't contributed so much. But I was blasted by what Jean did. Totally.
Jean really.
I'm in the project, but I was completely blasted by the last advance. I have to say it blew my mind totally, and I just. And I just want to say I'm happy of those times that every piece is going well and is advancing. UI styles, UI patterns, everything is going into place. And somehow the numbers on Drupal.org does not really reflect the reality. I think because sometimes. So we always seek for recognition. I think this is important to have some recognition and to continue to be in the right direction. And sometimes people just look at the numbers and they stop there. And I think we shouldn't stop at the numbers now. And this is really great. And this is really cool.
Of course, but it's the case for all the Drupal module. You know, we have a number, and this number is not an absolute number. It's more a number you need to compare module together, because most of the projects, they don't activate the update module, so they never send us the information. But thank you, Michael. And I also the same feeling as you, that people are working on different parts of UI suite, but everything is fitting well, and something is emerging.
And sometimes people, I think sometimes it's, I remember when I was out of I was not in, I was out. So I still remember this time when Michael Fanini was telling me, you have to use UI suite, this is crazy, this is good. And I was like, yes, one day, don't worry, one day I will come. And no, I realized that it's difficult when you're out of it to step into. I don't. Maybe it's lack of documentation or lack of tutorial, but sometimes we are one tutor away from people being so happy. So the work you are doing on doing some presentation and documenting is essential, because
So
it's
we need to focus on that. That's what you say. You need to focus on that this spring.
we have many important points. So this is part of the story. I mean, my personal story, I'm a Drupal for 20 years, and I maybe if I look into the past, I should have go before, you know. Michael told me, but I was too busy, you know, to come, and I was one tutorial away from being there. So if I had seen a tutorial, a specific presentation, I would have been there instantly, and maybe some people in the world are doing Drupal and not really realizing they will be happy with this.
That's why
Better late
in Atlanta,
than never.
in Atlanta, a lot of people told me, I find UX interesting, and I discover it thanks to WebWash. The WebWash video of last month, I think got a big impact. And you talk about numbers, you know, we got 2 crazy months. We released UI Pattern 2. There was a hype around UI Pattern 2. Then WebWash video. Then Drupal Core. It's the first time we are presenting UI Suite in North America. Then the drop time article. And all this stuff will be visible in the numbers in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Because people are now experimenting. Maybe they will like it, so maybe they will start a project with it, and they will deliver the project, and maybe they will deliver a project with update module activated, maybe. So there is always 3-6 months between what we do and what we see on the community.
Yeah, and also, sorry to add something, but one thing I really realized also, it's like above the tools we have, which we love and we build every day, we work on a methodology which is a clean separation between business and UI, and you talk about it in your interview, and I think this is a key point. And maybe sometimes we not too much insist on this. It's like so Drupal, we always said for Drupal, you have a clean separation between module and themes, you have a separation between building and theming. And so we are still in this, but we are even more in this with, with the SDC kind of, with the SDC and business logic, we keep it well separated, and this is for the good. And I think this is a part of the reason why what we do is sustainable, and it's good when you build, but it's also good when it's time effective. When we update your website, so it's good when we build sites, and after it saves time for maintenance and everything.
Oh, yeah, we are a productivity tool mostly. Yes. Alina, you wanted to ask a question about something?
Yeah, actually, I was like, want to ask questions. Well, it was amazing what you presented earlier, and I was thinking about the display builder. It can be possible to use it like the layout builder, but the users can create content using this display builder, or just for really mapping, actually.
Okay, we will propose a panel, you know, on the right panel with content edit form, like node edit, but it will be not highlight of the product. We want to target display building, only display building, full display building. That's why we are targeting entity view display.
Okay.
Form display when it will be possible thanks to the work of Laurent. View display, page layout display. We really want to be the ultimate display building tool. And we are not hunting on the land of content contribution. We will not become a menu editor or a content editor, or I don't know, user editor. That's not our scope.
And if
Okay.
I can add, it's because there is a reason. It's because Drupal is already providing on the editing part a lot of good tools, even if it's when you go with Claro or Gene or whatever, and you build your content type, you will have a clean form for contribution on your node, even if you have a lot of fields. And we don't want to reach this part because it's too much. There is already something working very well. And we would like, of course, it would be the best to have everything at the same place, but we cannot do everything properly. We want to aim at doing the first part properly, which is just doing the display builder part. A bit, we will have a bit of content editing, but it will be very light because it will not be as powerful as the content editing on Drupal. And even more when you have a lot of contrib module added that are adding stuff to your contribution, it's too tricky to go on this land, and it's already working well.
I agree actually, but sometimes like when you work with clients, the users, they always imagine when they see layout builder, they say like, we can build everything that we need, everything that we want. And when we talk about component-based design, they always think and imagine that they can place buttons and columns the way they want, cards as they imagine. So it's hard sometimes to explain the difference between that and what's the gain to earn by using this type of solutions. So that's why I'm asking, how can I convince them to...
Yeah, for sure, I understand. And there is something else. We perhaps, I'm not sure yet, but perhaps with display builders and UI patterns on the back, we could, as a collateral, provide a way to build a quick one-page website. Because we have two ways to interact. We want to pick the entity field. If you to replace the layout builder, you need to grab the entity field. But we have another way with thanks to UI patterns, or we have just some small text, just a WYSIWYG or token or icon. You can put them directly already. And if you want to target just a single one-page quick website, perhaps we will provide something that can match that. But it's only when you don't want something with the complexity, you don't want to go too far with what Drupal is providing. Perhaps we will have that, but that's not the goal. We want to stay with the Drupal as much as possible because it's giving way too much. And we cannot, because if we reach these points, we will be like, I don't know, Wix 2 or
Yes.
Squarespace 2, but we cannot. They have a lot of money. They are doing a lot of stuff. We cannot go there as nice.
Bonne question. Je vais essayer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the reminder.
Florent, you want to say something? Because I want to say
maybe
something before I leave.
maybe it is maybe to complete or to rephrase Lina's questions. It is layout builder allows overrides per content. Will there be this feature too with display builder?
And yes,
maybe
yes.
In short, to go short.
Yeah, we go short. We will, in my opinion, we will do better because. So first, we will be able to override full view mode and all view modes. Search, excerpt, any view mode, we could override it. So layout builder, yet you can only override the full view mode. And second, what Lina has asked, I think we already have an answer because you can, in display builder, you can put some rows and then you put a card and then you put a button group and then a button. And we have widgets. Like Jean said, we have token, we have a text field. We can already put the data. So the customer can build an interface completely with this. And the data is stored in display builder. But also to say more, if you want to link Drupal contents, we will be able to do that because UI patterns will propose new sources. So, for example, you want to pick a media. So you are doing something. You want to pick a media from the library. Today you can't.
Yes.
But tomorrow we will add that. But you can only do this when you are doing content edition because you do a reference to a content. So you want a reference to a content in a content, not in config. So the short answer to your question is yes, it will be possible. But there would be technically no limit to achieve that. But it's dangerous when there are no limits. So
I totally agree. Actually, I'm not saying like it's not a good idea. For me, like it's better if we keep all this for the developer and making the mapping. But the problem is that every time you're in front of non-technical people, this is hard to explain to them the huge and the important what we are doing is simplify things, and it's really structured and everything.
We won't show them mapping because you can configure like a UI pattern UI, and for each component, you simplify the form, so you hide the complicated source.
Yes.
So for editors, they don't have the permission to access the full component form, the complex form. And so inside a display builder content entity, if the editor has access to display building, he will only have access to simple source, like an input, a checkbox, and everything. And you will control the props that are shown. For example, you have this prop attribute, which is complicated. So we use attribute is complicated for content editors. Sometimes you don't want to. But if you just need to input a title, yes, you will. So when you will prepare your website for your customer, you will say, oh, in card, I will only allow like title, content, and media, and you will simplify. So our modules are bringing the mechanics and all the advanced stuff for developers, but for content editors, we will have some work, some configuration to do to propose them a simpler interface. And it's possible. I mean, it will be possible, but we have to combine those modules, UI pattern UI and display builder correctly.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great news. That's really great news. So I'm really happy and thrilled about that.
Yeah, it's cool. So I have to leave. Thank you so much, Pierre, Jean, and everybody.
Thank you very much.